By the end of this video, you'll see why some businesses struggle to sell even when they have shelves full of products, while others sell out in minutes before they've even launched. The secret? It's not just about supply, it's about demand. And once you master the difference, you'll know whether you need to build demand from scratch or simply step into a position where demand already exists. It's not like the diamond situation. If I reduce the supply, it will increase the demand. No. This is very different. So picture this. A brand new bakery opens up on your street. The shelves are packed with croissants and muffins and bread. That's the supply. But the seats are empty. Nobody knows this place exists. Without demand, that supply just goes stale. Literally and metaphorically in this case. Now contrast that to someone like J.K. Rowling. If she announced a new Harry Potter spin-off tomorrow, millions of copies would sell before a single page is printed or even written. Or think of Joe Rogan. He doesn't need to convince people to listen. When he drops a new episode, millions tune in automatically. How about Nike? They can put out a new trainer and demand will eat it up instantly. See the difference? Some people fight for attention to create demand. Others already sit in a position of demand and the supply just flows. At its simplest then, economics teaches that the supply is what you offer, so products, services, content, ideas, and demand is people's desire and willingness to pay attention or exchange value for it. But in business and creativity, the real challenge isn't producing the supply, it's creating or tapping into demand. And most beginners start with supply, wondering why, no one's buying. Meanwhile, established players start with the demand they've already built up and just feed it with supply. This is the classic startup problem. You spend months building an app, writing a book, designing clothes, and when you finally launch, crickets. It's not because the product is bad, it's because no one knew to want it yet. Demand hasn't been built. Entrepreneurs often underestimate how much effort it takes to educate, attract, and persuade people to care. Think of it like throwing a party. Baking the cake, decorating the house is supply. Getting people to show up is demand. And without the guests, the cake and the party doesn't really matter. Now flip it. What happens when you're in demand? Suddenly, supply is the easy part. As I said, J.K. Rowling could publish anything and it's automatically a bestseller. Which is why she obviously changed her name as well. In order for that not to be the case, she wanted to have those books be judged out of merit. I mean, it's obviously come to light now, but that's why she did that originally. Robert Galbraith, I believe. What about Joe Rogan? He can record in his studio, millions will stream. Nike can drop the sneakers, as I said, and the hype machine guaranteed lines outside the door. In these cases, then, the demand is so strong that supply doesn't need to be convinced, essentially. It just exists. That's the holy grail of business. Becoming the person, the brand, or platform that people already trust and want. So imagine two restaurants side by side. One has 20 empty tables, perfect decor, and an amazing menu. That's supply. The other has a line of people waiting out the door. Which one would you rather eat at? The line itself creates even more demand. Humans are wired to follow social proof. We assume if others want it, it must be worth it. So demand isn't just about marketing, it's about psychology, trust, and perception. If you're early in your journey, here's how to build demand. Number one is to solve a burning problem. If people already feel the pain, your solution creates natural demand. What about telling a story? People don't just buy products, they buy into narratives, identities, and communities. Show proof, testimonials, case studies. Even small wins create social evidence. What about scarcity and exclusivity? Limited supply increases desire. pre-orders, waitlists, beta tests, and consistency. Keep showing up. Demand builds slowly, but it compounds over time. But sometimes, instead of building demand, a smarter move is to step into it. Work with platforms or brands that already have audiences. Collaborate with influencers. Write for established publications. Distribute through Amazon, Spotify, or Nike-like ecosystems. Don't always reinvent the wheel. Stand where the crowd already is. So here's the rule of thumb. If you're new, focus on building demand around your supply. If you're established, focus on consistently feeding your demand with fresh supply. So ask yourself, do I have more supply than demand, or more demand than supply? Your answer tells you where to focus. Supply and demand aren't just economic curves, they're the invisible forces behind success and failure. Most people are brilliant at creating supply, but forget that demand is the real battlefield. The key is knowing whether you're the bakery with too many muffins and no customers, or the Nike with too many customers waiting for your next drop. Once you see that clearly, you can adjust your strategy and play the game to win. So just remember, you need to create demand. If you haven't got demand, how can you get it? Because once demand's there, supplying stuff is easy. A new product, a new venture, people will automatically want to buy it and be part of it. So how can you increase your demand?